how to make cutting a losing trade easier to do. That's a day trader trick that I want to show you in this video, which was inspired by these couple of comments that you see here on the screen from a previous video I did. But taking losses is something that if you want to survive as a trader, as an investor, you need to learn how to do, and you need to be able to do. And it's very, very difficult. It's a big challenge, and the main reason is because of human emotions, and in particular, fear. People are scared. There is a lot of fear that goes into taking a loss. And quite frankly, it defies all logic, because when I show you the little trick that I want you to use, as you'll see, sometimes it's not going to be enough because there is that emotion of fear. But like I said, my goal here, and the reason why it helps me, is it overcomes the fear because it puts the fear into a logical manner. When you look at it logically, you're saying, wait. The thing that I should actually be scared about, I'm not scared about. So that's what I'm going to try to do here, is rewire your brain to be scared of what you should actually be scared about, not what you're currently scared of, which is, taking that loss. So on the screen here, these are both from the same video, but this person says that they are down $40,000 on a current stock. And you can see right here, they have conclusion that they have no choice, right? There's no choice. They have to hold and wait till it either goes back up or let it go to zero. So then I ask, okay, well, how much if it goes to zero? And they say, well, $60,000, meaning they've put $60,000 into the trade. So with that in mind, we got to keep those numbers for this to make sense as we go on. And then here's another person that just says, again, same lines of logic. They have no choice, right? There's those words again, no choice. They have to either hold or average down. And then this is also, what really inspired the video. I'm new. I don't know what to do. Great hashtag. But I will say that this is not only for new traders. Even if you're an advanced trader, you have a lot of experience, I'm sure you know how difficult it is to actually take losses and to cut those losses. But like I said, I want to share with you the trick right now, and it's going to sound very obvious because it is very obvious. However, it really just goes to show how tricky fear is as an emotion, because it can take something so blatantly obvious and then make you just either not even think about it, not even care about it. But like I said, my goal here now in this next part is to get you to be scared of something else. And if you're scared of something else, it will make taking the loss much easier to do. So moving forward, I want you, put this on a sticky note, print it out. Whatever you got to do, you need to keep this graph in mind. Very basic relationship, very commonsensical relationship, but way too many people seem to just lose track of it because of fear and the whole idea of losing money. But so here's the relationship, just to break this down, to keep this as straightforward as possible. Right here, this represents the more money you have, right? So going upwards, more money you have. Over here, the odds you can make back. So in other words, the odds you can make that money back that you do lose. So you notice here that, let's just pick a spot over here, right here. So what is this saying? Well, this is saying that you have quite a bit of money. And then what is this saying down here? Well, that would imply that, you have good odds of making back any lost money. Why? Well, because you have more money. Do you see the relationship? You have a better chance. Your odds are improved to make any money lost back if you have more money. So in other words, let's equate it to those numbers. If the person took the loss right now, let's keep the math easy. They put $60,000 in, and they're looking at right now a $40,000 loss, right? And they don't want to take that. But if they did take it, they would have what? They would have $20,000 left to still trade with. But what's their current plan? Well, I don't have any choice. My choice is what? It's either going to go back up, or it's going back, or it's just going to go to zero. Meaning they've put 60 in, they're going to let it go to zero, meaning they lose 60, which leaves them with what? And like I said, I'm not trying to, you probably already see where I'm headed with all this, but that's what I'm saying is none of this is complicated. So let's look at these scenarios. Let's look at this one first, the zero. Meaning, well, so the more money the person has, where would that put them? Well, they don't have any money. So they're literally right there. What does that tell you about the odds that they can make it back? Well, they can't. Why? Well, because they literally have no money. But let's look at this. We have the other scenario, the 20,000 scenario. Well, where are they at? Well, let's just say, well, they do still have money. So sure, it's not 60, but I don't know. Let's just say that it's somewhere right around there. So let's match that up over here. And then what does that tell us? Well, that tells you that, you know what? They have a chance. They have a chance to make that money back. And here's the thing about the odds. They have way better odds of making back that lost money with $20,000 compared to $0. Does that make sense? Whoever's saying, well, no kidding, Captain Obvious. And that's my point. What I want you to be scared of is this relationship right here. Understanding that, I'm trying to keep the colors different, that the more you move yourself down this line, the more you allow yourself, your account to move down this line, the further and further back this way you go, which is pretty scary, right? If you know that loss getting bigger and bigger and bigger is now reducing your chances of ever being able to get that loss back, that's a scary thing. And it should be scary because it's mathematically true, right? Again, I'm working on this person's, mentality. How do you make back, $60,000 with zero? You don't, right? Because it takes money to make money. How do you make $60,000 back with 20? Well, first off, you don't even have to make $60,000 back. You only have to make 40 back. So how do you do that? Well, you start to trade again. You just keep at it. Or look at it like this. Okay, Clay, zero is too much. Okay, fine. Let's let it go all the way down to $5,000. Which situation seems more likely? Which situation is going to even happen quicker? Somebody that's starting at 20 or somebody that's starting at 5 to make back those losses, right? These are rhetorical questions. I realize you understand this, but this is the relationship that people just are not scared of. They fall into the fear trap of just, I'm losing money. I'm losing money. I'm losing money. No, you're not. You're losing, quite frankly, you're losing the chance to ever get that money back. Because the lower that goes, I mean, you understand the graph. I was going to draw on it again, but it's quite straightforward. The lower you go down here, drop, because you let that loss keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, that just means the less chance you're ever going to have to get that money back. So don't be scared of the lost money. Be scared of the lower and lower chances you're ever going to have of getting that money back. And that's why, I'd rather take a $100 loss compared to a $1,000 loss. What do I mean? Well, that's because a $100 loss is the much easier hole to climb out of than a $1,000 loss. But why is that actually easier? Because it's 100 versus 1,000? Kind of, but also because I have way more money to get out of that hole. So in that situation, and I know I'm beating this dead horse, but I want to drive it home because as you're about to see with the comment, sometimes this is just not enough. So I'm really trying to just hammer it home. But my situation, okay, if you have, a $1,000 loss versus a $100 loss, what is that telling you about the capital you would still have? Well, you would still have $900 more. Whoops, black probably a poor choice. I know. But you would still have $900 more to work with to get that loss back. And to get what loss back? To get just a $100 loss back. Whereas you take the $1,000 loss, now it's all flipped around on you and you've taken a bigger loss. Now you have less capital to even get back a bigger loss. So do you see how that's a cycle that's very, very much so, reversed against you? So like I said, I'm going to clear all this out, but this is, like I said, take a screenshot, print it out, do whatever you got to do, but don't lose track of this relationship. But again, even with this, and why I've repeated myself many times, is because I explained this to the person in the comment section, and then this was their reply. Now get this, I'm sure you're saying the same thing. No kidding, Clay, stop repeating yourself. It's so true. It's so obvious what you're saying. However, so many people like this person, but then all of a sudden they throw in a but. But there's a but. I'm too scared to sell. Fear. But where is this fear coming from? It's coming from here. And we've all felt this. With my luck, as soon as I sell, there's a stock that's being talked about. AMC will rocket and pass my average and just take off without me. Right? That's what we're always going to, as soon as I get it out, it's going to go in my favor. And that is a fear. Why is that fearful? Well, one, because you've actually taken a loss. And two, it's going to hurt your ego. It's going to hurt your feelings that, I can't believe I would have been okay had I just held. But what's being neglected through all this is the flip side of things. But what if it doesn't ever come back? There are no guarantees that anything's ever going to come back. And if it keeps going lower and lower, well, you understand that graph. The lower and lower it goes, the less and less odds you'll ever have to make that money back. So just cut the loss in the first place, keep the loss small, keep the loss controlled, hold on to your capital. So this is just a big, wide, a roundabout way of, talking about capital preservation, right? This is why capital management is so important, because if you keep your capital, if you're very paranoid about your capital, it's so important because, well, the more capital you have, the easier it is to make money back. It's way easier to make $100 using $10,000 than making $100 with $500, right? The more money you have, the easier it is to make $100, right? The more money you have, the easier it's to make $1,000. Somebody with $1 billion, they're like, yeah, I made 1,000. You'd be like, yeah, who cares? But somebody with $10, if they're like, yeah, I turned 10 into 1,000, you'd be like, wait, what? And you'd be shocked. Why? Because that would be really hard to make 1,000 with $10. But you make 1,000 with $1 billion, like, who cares? And that's what is often overlooked. So you can't look at this and be like, oh, as soon as I get out, it's going to go in your favor. And you know what? To be fair, maybe it does. But you know what? In that situation, if it does go in your favor, at least you still have, again, in this situation, at least the guy still has $20,000. Whereas the question becomes, well, what happens if it doesn't? Well, now he has $0. So sure, option A, where you get out with the $20,000 and then it goes in your favor. Okay, yeah, you didn't need to take the loss. But hey, you know what? At least you still got $20,000. However, that's a two-sided coin. The other is you take hold of the $20,000 and it does go to zero, and now you have absolutely nothing left and you have absolutely zero chance of getting anything back. So yes, this is all logical. Yes, I realize hopefully this is kind of in your face here, but I also want you to just realize that use this logic, use this basic math that illustrates why capital preservation is so important. And if you keep this graph in your mind, and if you want to stay in this for the long haul, now if you're just a degenerate gambler and you were just in some sort of stock as some sort of gamble and you're like, hey, go big or go home, okay, I suppose that would be apples and oranges. But I am talking about assuming you want to be a long-term trader, a long-term investor. You want to have longevity in this game and you want to be able to survive. And the only way you can survive is capital preservation. The only way you're going to be able to have capital preservation is to cut your losing trades, which no, is not easy to do. However, when you remember this relationship, I think it's a great, day trader trick, swing trader trick to make cutting those losses, taking those losing trades much easier to do. So that's all I have. If you enjoyed this video, if you would like for me to make more videos like this where I take comments and then, structure videos around them, please let me know that down in the comment section, or just share a story with, do you have any sort of story where you can sit there and be like, I'm glad I got out because that could have been a whole lot worse. I've been there many times before. In fact, there's live trade videos on the channel where I sit there and say, wow, had I not cut the loss, that loss would have been so much bigger and then so much harder to get back. So, like I said, if you have any of those stories, share those down below. But yeah, get out there, remember this graph, and I promise it is going to help you and make cutting those losing trades easier to do. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.